Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever it is in the world. You are streaming here on Twitter as well as YouTube. So I'm a little tardy for tonight's stream. I admittedly was busy watching a gorgeous sunset, and I found this jazz bar in the neighborhood I'm staying in Buenos Aires. So I took an extra minute just to get back here. I don't have a legitimate excuse, but we go 9 minutes past time, and I figure if this is probably the day to do it, considering this is the weakest NBA slate of the season that wasn't Thanksgiving Day, where there's no games played. 3 games, and they're all pretty crazy. At least Anthony Edwards officially ruled in after being downgraded earlier today. It's not very standard practice that NBA players end up actually playing that night after getting downgraded earlier before tip-off. But Anthony Edwards is usually the guy that survives that precedent. And he has once again. So I'll be here for the next, let's call it, I'll give you 40, 45 minutes or so. It's a live Q&A. So if you are new to this stream and you have something to ask, NBA related, Argentina related, any news going on in the media world, I'm happy to comment on. This is a live Q&A, so I will keep my eye on the chat. There's something at the bottom of the screen that says say something. If you would like to join the chat today, I'd be more than happy to say what's up, engage. What's up, Greater Goods? I'm starting to see some of the chats come in now. Helwick, yeah, it's quite nice here. So I would say there's a difference between favorite places I've been and most livable cities. And if I'm doing a most livable city list, I have Lisbon that I've been to. Lisbon 1, Lisbon, Portugal, Tokyo 2, and then I was debating between Barcelona and Buenos Aires for 3, but I'm going to stick with Barcelona 3, Buenos Aires 4. It's definitely in the top 4. So just super safe. Neighborhoods are so it's the best parts of Barcelona and Soho in New York. I've been to a couple of the different neighborhoods, from Boca yesterday where they were playing the big soccer match. Holy shit, by the way. SEC football type atmosphere. Big Saturday game, but for soccer. Boca Juniors were in the semifinals of the league championship. They ended up losing, but they've had to ban away fans because the games get so violent, and that stadium makes you feel like it's 3 Cameron indoors stacked on top of each other with how on top of the action the fans are. So that was fun. I went to the San Telmo Market, which is famous for their Sundays. They shut down the streets and they people just did some Christmas shopping. What else did I do? The public transportation is so clean and easy. Get at any of these neighborhoods between 30 and 45 minutes. The food is, I just learned about provoletta. I'm a massive cheese eater, and I still didn't know about provoletta. I do know about provoletta now. I just had provoletta for a giant portion of it for dinner. So good. It's like melted mozzarella, spiced mozzarella around something that's not bread. Dough. I don't know, man. It's just fucking good. A lot of beef. I had fresh, what is it called? Freshwater. Apparently I've been eating the cow's pancreas for the past couple of days. They eat all parts of the cow here because they have more cows or more cattle than people. The beef has been good. Empanadas, as always. They do pizza differently. That's on sourdough and there's no sauce, but it still just tastes good. It's such a unique culture. It's influenced by Italy, Germany, and Spain are the 3 big ones. And their Spanish is different too. Instead of saying tú eres, they'll say vos, V-O-S, but not vosotros. If vos means two, I'm like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense, but I have a difficult enough time. I have to subjugate the verbs and conjugate for a couple of minutes before I'm able to respond, and then hearing a different language it's not as bad as Barcelona, but it's not the Mexican Spanish that I grew up learning. So communicating has been fine. They speak English pretty much anywhere. I've been trying my best to speak Spanish, but I need to be drunk. They have their equivalent of a Central Park, which is by the water, downtown Buenos Aires. Rose gardens, you just walk and walk. I rollerbladed, I told you last stream. Sunsets are gorgeous. I mean, it's just a very desirable city to. It doesn't have a Roman Colosseum type of attraction, even their main Plaza de Mayo. Nothing really special to see there, but I find it to be very livable, and I like going to livable cities where I can just walk, get lost, and find shit to do. Supermarkets, feel safe, go grab a drink. That's my ideal vacation, as opposed to tours and attractions and going to Dubrovnik and Game of Thrones paradise. Anyway, sorry, enough blabbering. I just wanted to get you guys up to speed on that. Eric says, is Tyrese Maxey ever going to get a call? Really? I mean, he's filling it up. What else? Nothing is Maxey's fault with what's going on in Philly. It's just Joel Embiid is such a zombie compared to what he once was. That was hard to watch last night. Hard to watch. He just has no physical explosion in the restricted area. I just don't feel the dominance the way that it once was. The result of which is not sending double teams anymore. He's also on minutes restrictions. He loses his rhythm when he works up a lather in a sweat. He gets taken out. Hardly plays. Still skilled and talented, but he is no longer that physical diesel. And I'm using that word on purpose because there was once upon a time I thought this might be the next Shaq when it comes to take it. That fadeaway against Austin Reeves last night, down by 3. Like, why did you choose a fadeaway? The old Joel Embiid would have put him through the mattress and then done the DX crotch chop after. Nasty slate today, indeed. This is as rough as it gets. Shout out to our partners at ProfitX. I have actually, so here's my problem, was on the news of Anthony Edwards potentially being out tonight. I did bet Phoenix at 9. So it has since come back to 9 because Anthony Edwards is in. Now, since he's sick, you would normally think, hey, should we potentially take his unders? But if there's one guy, this even when he's questionable with hammies and quads, this dude just goes out there and fucking hoops. This guy loves hooping. So if there's any bet, I would no longer recommend Phoenix plus 9. That just feels like a coin flip. I'll probably hedge off some risk there. Hopefully I get to play a middle live, but right here, Anthony Edwards, 28.5. If you're looking for any action tonight, I'd lean under despite the juice. I'm not going to take it myself, but with him being questionable, maybe he is super sick and then he just can't keep going after halftime. But I have seen Anthony Edwards in this spot respond with some monster games multiple times. He left that first game against the Los Angeles Lakers in the playoffs, by the way, and then came back as soon as the Lakers were putting a run together. I was there, and he came running out of the tunnel like, oh, this is over. And it was most certainly over. So if he's motivated to play tonight against a Phoenix Suns team, which Ant-Man was embarrassed by the last time that they played in Phoenix. Ant-Man misses 2 free throws. Dylan Brooks is out there chirping his head off, and then Ant blew it. He's not going to miss an opportunity to get his payback. So that's why I am not in a rush to fade him despite the illness and the questionable tag. He is a tough SOB, yeah. Hey, Danny says, I feel like ProfitX really is a lot better than Polymarket. Well, much different businesses. This is peer-to-peer transactions. You're not betting against the house. You're just pooling liquidity. And if you can find someone, think of it this way. If someone is on the street and like, hey, $10 says the Suns win tonight. All right, I'll take your action. That's what this is. That's all. No sports book. It's peer-to-peer. Polymarket and Kalshi, whatever, however you pronounce it. Those are like sports futures contracts that you're trading. It's much different business models, but this one's relatively straightforward, so that's why we work with them. Logan, what's up? Remember when Coach K had 2 shots at beating UNC in his final season? You know how to make me happy. Coach K not only got retired by Caleb Love in Cameron Indoor once, but in the Final Four twice with a much superior team. That is the most embarrassing end to a historic career that anyone in the sport will ever encounter. He got retired twice. Twice. You had the Cameron Crazies crying their eyes out as the underdog Tar Heels go in there against Paolo Banchero and Mark Williams, Keels. That team was roach. That team was so good. And they lost to these little pipsqueaks. Caleb Love, RJ Davis. Of course, Baycott was there, but Manic. Puff Johnson. You lost to that team twice. I would not have retired if I was coaching. You can't go out like that. Pat Spencer. First option hoops are kind of fun, not going to lie. Listen, if Travis Kelce can get Taylor Swift, Pat Spencer can get Sydney Sweeney. He is on the Sydney Sweeney arc right now. That dude is lighting it up. The moment he started backing down Chet Holmgren in the post, calling for the ball, I want to work this guy out, and then he Dirk Nowitzki'd over his head, had Bob Fitzgerald on NBC Sports Bay Area, who you guys know by now is Comrade Fitzgerald. He is state television for the Warriors. You will never hear more hyperbole and prisoner the moment takes. Well, other than a podcast. During a live broadcast game stream than Bob Fitzgerald. I won't miss a single show. He has me so hooked on watching or listening to his ridiculous reactions alongside Kalena to anything the Warriors do. Pat Spencer goes for a scissor fadeaway over Chet Holmgren, and they are just like screaming at the top of their lungs, that looked like Dirk! That looked like Dirk! Like Bob, oh my God, Bob Fitzgerald. Everything is like the greatest Warrior of all time. The greatest play by Steph Curry has ever seen. Oh my God. Sorry. But what's funny about Bob is he's an amazing play-by-play guy, as long as it's not the Warriors. When he does Olympics and when he does, we got an official, Victor Wembanyama's still out. Could be coming back soon, though. Bob Fitzgerald does Olympic stuff. He's tremendous, like incredibly professional and great cadence to his delivery. It's very, very skilled. It's just such a Warriors homer. It's to the point. It's a parody of itself. Who plays more games before retiring, Embiid or LeBron? Oh, that's a good one. I'll say Embiid, but it's not as obvious. I think about it for a second. AJ is asking, any update on the drone use yesterday at the Philly game? Yeah, so if you guys missed that, I was watching, so I got invited to what's called an asado in Argentina. It's their equivalent of Sunday night barbecues that they do with family and friends, but a little bit more, it's more of, it feels like a meat buffet type of, like meat only, and then the provoletta, you start off with the provoletta. So I got invited to an asado, which was lovely. The guy's super nice. His friends were very cool, NBA fans. We talked hoops, all the above, played some games. But we're sitting there. So after the Boca Juniors game ends, we put on Lakers Sixers on the main TV, and we were watching because I made them change the channel from NBC Sports Philadelphia, because that's one of the second worst broadcasts. Only the Warriors are worse than the Sixers. The homerism of that broadcast, they're inaccurate all the time. That no chemistry. I can't take it. So I made them change the broadcast to the Lakers. So on the Lakers broadcast on Spectrum Sportsnet, can see a drone just flying in the middle of the screen at all times. And that's because it was NBC Sports Philadelphia's drone for some like drone shots that apparently the feedback I got in the comment section was we watched it and it wasn't even like good. They kept going to it and provided nothing of substance. And you were just hoping that they reverted back to the traditional angle. But meanwhile, on the Lakers broadcast, all you see is this drone and it looks like a horsefly is in your television. I used the analogy earlier about the Walter White's episode from Breaking Bad where he's chasing the fly in the laboratory. I kept like, is that a bug or what? Why is there this flying black hovering thing in the middle of it? Was a drone that NBC Sports Philadelphia was using. That's the answer. That's just unacceptable. It changed the entire aesthetic of a great game. It was starting to really piss me off, and everyone was talking about it more than what was happening on the floor with LBJ. Out there, nice to get a silencer for the first time in a long time. And the crown. Yeah. We all got up off the couch when that last shot went in. No one's even, I don't think anyone is a LeBron super fan or Lakers fan. And it's just one of those moments where gets you hyped. It's like, that's all right. We're back. We're so back. Preseason training camp is over. So long story short, with the drone, yes, that was an NBC Sports Philly thing. I thought it might have been NBA, a VR stream because they do some VR streams with Oculus. I thought it could have been maybe the Sixers content team was getting some shots for a video or maybe a documentary was being filmed. But it was apparently it was just NBC Sports Philadelphia's drone broadcast view. I don't think we have a game of the night. It's got to be Suns versus. Look at these games to choose from. Who asked that question? Dylan, this is our menu tonight. Look how short this menu is. Kings Pacers with no Halliburton, obviously no De'Aaron Fox, no Sabonis. So none of the characters where the Kings have to face the consequences of their own actions. We just got Anthony Edwards back to Suns Timberwolves. So that's the candidate, and then it's Spurs Pelicans without Wemby or Zion or anybody for the Pels. Where's Jordan Poole, by the way? Where the hell is Jordan Poole? Did he just disappear? Herb Jones might be coming back. These dudes in New Orleans just completely disappear all the time. How do I feel about Kelce? I like Prophet X a lot more. Well, it's also, you guys know those names, Polymarket and Kelce, because they're just pretty much writing a check to anyone with a social media following that's like fake news. They just leaning into the accounts that just are parodies and stuff. And they're just spraying, in front of all those eyeballs. That's their business strategy. I'm glad Prophet X at least finds some authenticity with their content, with the stuff we're doing. Duke screwed over. You thought they screwed over the ACC, but thank God Miami beat Notre Dame. Yeah, I mean, Virginia is a shadow of their old selves since their quarterback got hurt. I know he came back, but they haven't been the same team. Duke's good too. That's the thing. They lost a couple of close games, Helwick, didn't they, this season? It's amazing how much I don't care about Duke football. I despise the university, especially the basketball team, a lot of the alumni. But the football team exists as a subsidiary that doesn't have the same stains that the rest of Duke does. Weird how that works, but they're good. Their defense was good all year. Quarterback can play. The best joke on the internet was about Notre Dame, that when they said we're not going to play in a bowl because we didn't make the playoffs, someone responded to the main tweet saying, "I thought Catholics don't pull out." The tweet said that Notre Dame had pulled out of their bowl game. It was the delivery was just very poignant and hit the nail on the head. Penn State legend Puff Johnson plays for Penn State. I didn't know that. Pat Spencer's 29. Pat Spencer looks like he's 29. He should be an NBA vet at that age and that mustache. How the Spurs been able to win so many games with Wemby out? Asks Logan. Well, they got Harper back. They got De'Aaron Fox. They got is anybody still there? I'm back somehow. I think nothing pisses me off. Nothing pisses me off more than a stream technology fails. Let's see if this is back to working. Hold on. Is anybody out there? Anybody out there? If you're in the chat and you're still here somehow, say something so I know we still have a show. So it's going to take me a second to got to reload everything. I'm trying not to lose my shit. I'm working every single show. There's something wrong. Okay. Chat's loading. Okay. All right, I can see you guys. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with this bullshit. So the internet has been overloaded and it just shuts down, I guess, when it gets too overloaded. But I have speeds that are significantly faster than what I have, honestly, even at home. So it knocks out the internet and then it resets. It takes a couple of minutes, but I'm back now. I know you guys are so trained at this point with tech malfunctions that it's just like part of the program, and you're accustomed to just waiting until I'm able to get back in. It happens so fucking often. Heaven forbid something works. But thank you for hanging out. Yes, I am back. I would never leave you. On purpose, at least. I don't know. Was it X or Argentina? Why? It could be. It's been StreamYard the past couple of times. I've had the internet flickering all day, going in and out. I think it just flickered again. It's like it's overloading its bandwidth, and then it resets on me. Back in LA is shit with my microphone and OBS. Nothing ever fucking works. What's up, Arhan? Appreciate you guys hanging out. And Tulane was the pick of the weekend, wasn't it, Helwick? Let's see. Sorry, let me go catch up on these comments I missed while I was gone. Can I give a little background on Seth Curry playing for the Warriors this year? Hasn't gotten much media attention. Well, because Seth has played on, 10 teams at this point? He's a vet. Dylan says, I rely on you giving me a game to watch every night. I don't think I can help you. Might have to watch hockey tonight with these 3 games. Oh, I saw that video too. The Notre Dame joke about Catholics should be seeing out the term of their season because they're always about pro-life, right? I get it. I am no longer. I'm going to try my best to not get angry when the tech issues arise or when my tech fails. Am I the only one? I have a MacBook Pro connected to 100 Mbps upload speed. What am I doing wrong with tech? Why does it always fail? Does anyone else deal with this bullshit? Is it because I'm on a super old version of iOS? The chat. I always have to remember there's people that just started following me last week versus some of you who have been around since Game Boy Color. Someone in the chat just found out I'm a real person. What else, chat? If you're still here, I don't blame you if you left. I don't blame you because it'll probably crash again. Why would you hang around? It's starting to flicker again, which means it's probably going to crash soon. 5+ years of my tweets without seeing me. That doesn't make sense. Now you're just lying. Seen my tweets for almost 5+ years. This is the first time I'm seeing a human attached to this account. Like half of my tweets have my face in it. So one of us is not telling the truth. What famous places have I visited in Buenos Aires? Again, there's no Roman Colosseum here. There's no Parthenon. The neighborhoods are famous. Like Palermo is famous. That's where I'm staying. That's where most people stay. Most tourists too. La Boca, San Telmo. The park is probably the most well-known thing about downtown. It's quite nice. Just a lot of good places to eat. People just living. Those are my favorite. Again, my favorite places to go. People are just living. People here are just living, going about their days. Game Boy. You had a Game Boy Color. Remember how big it was when the big brick gray Game Boys, and they started coming out with the purple, like equivalent of a iPod Slim, what was the little thin one called? iPod Air or something. Game Boy Color turned Pokemon into an orange game, a blue game, a green game. The screen would just have that specific color on it. What a time. Yes, the shuffle. Thank you. This is, I can't talk anymore. This is what happens when you get old. In the past, I would have gotten very angry about tech issues going wrong, but this is also why I lack motivation and inspiration to live stream, because everyone's websites are just broken. And you guys see that that live streaming creator platform for sports, I think it was called Playback, shut down today. They had just gotten $22 million in seed funding, and my understanding was they were backed by the NBA. I never did anything with them because they never paid. So at this point, if it's pay to play. But their reasoning in their post why they had to shut down was they didn't reach the scale necessary to sustain the business. Now, they had plenty of users and creators that were building like enjoyable, loyal communities on there, which is what's necessary to building any streaming platform. Their problem is building a business that requires licenses from professional sports leagues. The NBA, for example, was their biggest one. I think they had MLB too. The problem with that is licenses expire. And when a license expires, let's say on the old broadcast rights deal, that was more lenient and willing to let partners come in and exist in their ecosystem, their habitat that they established. That was certainly the case in the previous media rights deal, because the NBA had NBA TV. They were producing it out of Atlanta. Then there was ESPN. And if you just get them all to sign off, a company like Playback can exist. Now, Amazon, Comcast, Disney, ESPN, ABC, there's so many chefs in the kitchen and they're paying so much money. All it takes is one of them saying, no longer do we want these little Twitches and whomever's, these little side partners that get high. Bleacher Report, big one. Bleacher Report, not doing NBA stuff anymore either. They come in there and they say, no, start denying their access, and we will only accept them as, or not accept, but grant them streaming licenses, highlight licenses, unless they have to severely overpay to get them. And a company still that has $22 million in funding is going to need $222 million in funding to be able to overpay the partners and the NBA so that they can continue to sign these long-term licenses, which requires, by the way, multiple years. If you're just doing one-year deals, they'll keep jacking up the price on you as your company gets more and more, becomes more and more successful. Long story short, the point I'm trying to make here is scaling a business that is built on top of professional sports league rights will never be able to scale to the level that I'm sure Playback had aspirations to reach. The rug can be pulled out on you at any point, and your entire business will collapse, regardless of community, regardless of product, which to my understanding, I never used the site, but to my understanding, it was not only enjoyable, but some people even preferred it to the main broadcast. And Godspeed, they built something there that people enjoyed. But if the NBA comes in and says, no longer are you able to stream our games, or there's a much more strict blackout rules applying, that it can only be a certain couple of games, and the one that everyone wants to watch, they're not allowed to because the NBA broadcast distribution rights have changed, as have their ancillary partners. They probably lost their license, is my guess. And to get it back, and it's going to require just so much money, it's not even worth it. So based on their post that I read, they're going to be taking their technology and just selling it, so their investors get some of their money back. But there's no point in paying 10x versus what Amazon, NBC, Disney, or Comcast are all paying for these rights. They're paying 10x, and then you got to pay a 10x multiple on top of it. I'm just using round numbers here to illustrate my point. But it's just not a sustainable business model, because the more successful that your platform, creator content platform, becomes, the more leverage the NBA has on you to charge you more. Otherwise, your business collapses. And that's exactly what just happened, it appears. Now, there's sites that do this illegally, but this particular business was going through the process of obtaining those licenses and whatnot. It would make users log in and authenticate their League Pass subscriptions, which makes sense. The NBA, you're not allowed to watch the NBA on this specific platform unless you have a League Pass account, which of course helps the league. So this is a way for them to get people to sign up for League Pass, give them a reason to, because they want to watch a game with their favorite community leader. Makes all the sense in the world, right, for the NBA to do that. But something tells me that the league partners do not see it the same way. If we're paying you this much money, we'll be the ones who build that technology, build the second screen experience, and the community building or community hosted streams. We'll be the ones who distribute that and monetize it, because Playback was trying to build a business around it too. But if I'm paying for those rights, I want the exclusivity to the license, not some other that's mooching off of us. And I imagine that's what happened somewhat recently, that they made the license just either completely unreasonable pricing or pulled it all together, and now they're left without a business. So I don't think you will be seeing any sports-specific streaming companies where creators can watch with their community and do it legally, authenticating through the league's options. And hopefully that makes sense. There was another company previously that was founded by one of the most important people at sports Twitter. His name was Bo. Bo left Twitter to go start this company called Buzzer. And Buzzer was a way of aggregating sports broadcast rights into one app. And what you would do is you would process a micropayment of between 99 cents and, let's say, $3 to watch a game. And then the league got revenue share on all of the purchases, the signups. I'm sure they had rev share on someone signed up for League Pass, something like that, but just impossible to scale considering there's so many illegal options out there. That's what every single one of these businesses underestimates when they come up with some idea like, you know what, let's go to the leagues and say, let's build this platform and have all of these different communities on the internet come together to watch a game in their separate rooms and separate channels. Is how many people are watching StreamEasts, watching TV apps, watching crack streams. There's hundreds of thousands of viewers. I'm using it for college football because I'm in another country. It is so easily accessible that anytime someone builds one of these businesses, it has me wondering if they truly have their finger on the pulse of how younger generation sports fans consume the product. They watch through the illegal sites. Sometimes you can even see how many people are in the lobby, and I'm telling you, it's like 6 figures nightly for nothing games. This is how people watch their sports. And it makes sense trying to go through the legal process of obtaining licenses and doing it correctly. But even when you do it right, there's going to be a partner that is upset that you exist and you are siphoning away views from their platform. If I'm Amazon Prime, our whole business model is based on, or if I'm Prime Video, Sports Prime Video, our whole company's business is based on subscriptions to Amazon Prime. And if these fans feel like that they can get what they really want in life, and that's to watch the NBA with their friends, I can go to this free site called Playback, get most of these games. I don't need Prime. I don't need anything else. I have everything I need. Well, we cut the head off that snake, and then they're going to be forced to watch it through us. That's what the executives are thinking. And that's why I believe that company failed today. Officially closed, shut down. My hypothesis is the rights to the NBA were either taken away or made so expensive they might as well have been taken away. And there was probably some stomping, some complaining done by the major partners right now, that we're tired of them becoming a thing. We want those viewers watching from us directly. That's why we pay you. That's what the money is for. Thank you for listening. But there you go. I'm pretty well versed in the business of content creation, especially on the sports rights side. So I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but you never know. What do you mean? I'm not wearing anything. This is part of my. Look at the angle of the. Wait, that's not right. It should be like a splint should be parallel to your arm like that. It shouldn't be at an angle. This is just part of my body. When you people will never learn. Why does he wear that cast? I can't. It's like Rip Hamilton in his mask. Think Bane can take off his mask? He dies. Anything else? It's called provoletta, Argentine cheese, provoletta. And I just had a whole block of it. Maybe that's why I'm sleepy. You can get it from it's so good you can get it from the grocery store. It's like spiced mutts that melts when you warm it up. Something's underneath it. I don't know if it's dough or other cheese. It's amazing. It's so good. There's oregano on it, and the food here is very good. Very good. So so different from Mexican. They have no Mexican food here, like zero. I saw one place, and the food tour guide was like, it's terrible." It's all the Mexican food here is terrible because they don't have any of the ingredients that are necessary. Talking the beans, and they obviously have chicken and beef and all that, but a lot of Mexican food ingredients they don't grow here. What am I up to tonight? I found a jazz bar down the street, but I went to bed so late last night. This place is very similar to Barcelona in that any sort of get together going out doesn't happen until 11 o'clock. I was up until like 5:30 for no reason other than being at a asado. So I'm gonna try and get a decent night's sleep tonight so I can wake up, and I didn't do anything this morning. And because of the time difference, my Sirius XM show isn't until 4 p.m. local. So I can somehow get up around 10 or 11, which is I'd be very happy with. Then I can have 5, 6 hours to do whatever the hell I want during the day while the rest of the world, the United States, is still sleeping. So I'm going to try and get a decent night's sleep tonight. But there is a jazz bar that I really want to go to. Um, just walk right in. It's like outdoors, all the above. So between the park and jazz bar are the next two on the list. Yeah, Argentinian girls seem nice. Everyone looks good. Everyone looks good. I haven't had a single problem while here with a person, or people are respectful. This is the best part about traveling is you get perspective on the rest of the world compared to the United States, where everyone seemingly hates each other. Not the case. The places that I've been, especially in Tokyo, Japan, is a complete anomaly. But people are willing to help. They're respectful, and everyone's just kind of minding their own business. I forgot what it was like. That's why I like traveling so much. On that note, that's enough preaching from me. I think this is a good time to say goodbye to you guys. Good luck on your action tonight. I'm gonna figure out what to do with my Phoenix +9. If I should just dump it. Should I dump it, or should I wait for Phoenix to take a 7 point lead and then come back on Minnesota? So I think I'll do that. Roll the dice and see if, as long as Minnesota doesn't go wire to wire, I'll find a way to play a little bit of a middle. Hopefully it's still 9 points right now. Oh, 8.5. Look at that. 8.5. I've gained a half a point in my favor. But on that note, I think, good time to say goodbye. I'll be back on Wednesday. And even then, we're in the middle of NBA Cup games this week. So those 12-game slates are taking a little bit of a pause. Tomorrow, there's only 2 games. It's Raptors, Knicks, and Heat, Magic or something for NBA Cup stuff. It's the new schedule. But doesn't make for a lot of info piling in for us to try and take advantage of some closing line value. So I will say adios and see you guys miércoles. Deuces.